Hello friends, welcome back. If you're here for the first time, welcome. Today I have a fun video for you all. It is part of a collaboration, but I will tell you guys about that a little later. From now, let's go into the video. DIY number 1. For this DIY, I used one of these frames or wreath forms from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to use 2 rolls of this burlap ribbon to completely wrap my frame. I just created a small little loop on that piece you see right there, added some hot glue, and I'm going to just wrap this completely around the whole frame. Then I took some of these carrots from the Dollar Tree. I used a total of 4 packs to complete this DIY. The first thing I did was add some hot glue to the carrots, and I'm going to add 1 to each corner of this window frame or window-like wreath form. And I just used some hot glue and I put it in each corner, just making sure I put it in the same distance, in the same angles. Then I'm coming in with some more of them and I'm going to put them in the same direction as the first 2 that I have in between, and then place it in this like you see there. I repeated this process until I had all sides completed. Once I was satisfied with the placement, I went over and took my hot glue, and I'm going to be now gluing all of the carrots on the place where I picked for them to be. Then I took some Spanish moss from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to glue it with some hot glue in between every single carrot. Then I came in with some floral moss, and I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm adding a lot smaller amounts just to give it a little bit of a green touch, kind of what you see in springtime when things are starting to come back to life. And while that's set, I took one of these bunnies from the Dollar Tree and I took some antique wax, and I'm just going to rub it in one direction to create streaks that resemble wood grain. The paper towel left some little pieces behind, so I just took them off using my pick, and then I'm using my heat gun to dry this stain. And then I came in with more antique wax, but here I'm using a brush instead to try to bring in a little bit more streaks to make it look more like wood. Once the bunny dried, I came in with my Artisa paint pens. I'm using the white one, and I'm just creating like a little egg shape and leaving a little space there. Then I realized that the blue was not showing as good, so I just did a complete oval, and now I'm coming in with the blue to create the eyes just so it pops a little bit better. Then using my Artisa paint pen, I am painting on the nose. I'm just doing a rounded corner triangle and then bringing down some archways from the bottom to create the mouth and nose. Then I'm using my white Artisa paint pen to color in its whiskers. If you're enjoying this video so far, don't forget to subscribe. And you already know I'm not done yet. I'm going to take some of this yellow ribbon and I'm going to just measure its neck, cut a piece that's going to be big enough, and I'm going to just fold it back and take a little bit of hot glue and tack it down on the back. So this is nice and taut and it won't go anywhere. Then I took the same ribbon and I'm making a small bow. I'm just making an awareness bow, bringing the loop down to the tails, cinching it in the middle and tying it with a little piece of jute cord. Then I dovetailed the ends and cut off the pieces of extra jute cord. And then I went ahead and glued it right in the middle of the ribbon on its neck. Of course, I went extra and I put 2 bows at the top as well. Isn't she adorable? So then once I was done with it, Now we are going to go ahead and use this sign from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to go ahead and give it 2 coats of the white chalk paint. Then I took it once it was dry, and I'm taking some of my gel super glue and a bit of hot glue to add this to the bottom of my bunny. And look how cute it is. Now it's time to attach her to the rest of the wreath. So I placed her in the middle of all of my carrots, and then use a little bit of hot glue in all the areas where the bunny touched the carrots. And I'm just going to do that in the front for now. And then I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to reinforce with some more hot glue the areas where the carrots and the bunny are touching. Then I took some more of that burlap ribbon. I folded it in half, and I'm creating a loop big enough to use to hang my wreath. I just cut the amount that I needed, went ahead and folded it like this to cause a loop, and just attach it using some hot glue. And here is my wreath all completed, guys. I adore this little guy. It is so cute. I can't wait to switch it out. This is so cool. I love it. Let me know what you think. And thank you, Amanda, for the inspiration. And speaking of Amanda, this video is a collaboration hosted by Amanda from 6 Kids and a Glue Gun, by Sharleen from the Crafty Art Shack, and the co-host this month is Sharon from Grace's neighbor, Sharon. The links to the channel will be in the description box below, along with the playlist. DIY number 2. For this DIY, I'm using one of these 18-inch wreath forms from the Dollar Tree, and 3 of these, actually I ended up using 2 of these ribbons from the Dollar Tree from the Easter collection. I wrapped the entire wreath on this ribbon, just trying to keep the distance between each time that I wrapped it equal until I was completely done wrapping the entire thing. Once I got here to the middle, you will see I had to tack down towards the back right there in the middle. And I'm just going to press it down, and then I'm going to start the next ribbon exactly on top of that one, just so it's all like one big piece and everything is nice and symmetrical. And just, you know, take your time with this. You'll see how this is very sped up. I took my time making sure that everything was nice and flat and everything was covered. Once I was done, I cut the piece in the back, add a little bit more hot glue, and here it is. Then I took this sign that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I'm painting the entire thing where the letters are using my ballet slipper chalk paint from Waverly, and I'm going to come in with this aqua color to paint the little pitchfork, or I don't know what you call it. I call it a pitchfork, to cover it with this blue, and I gave it 3 coats. Then I'm using this yellow to paint the little greenery right above this little pot. And for the pot, I'm using my moss color from Waverly as well, and I did that with 2 coats. Friends, if you have not done so yet, please consider subscribing. It is free and it means the world to me. And here is my welcome sign, nice and painted. Now I'm going to work on the wreath. I'm going to place that sign right in the middle. I'm going to be cutting the cord that it came with in half because I'm going to use it to hang from the wreath. But first we are going to embellish this. I'm going to take these flowers that I got at the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to create like a sash on there and just cutting it as short as it needs to be. And the first thing that I'm going to do is just place them exactly where I want. And I'm going to grab some jute cord, and I'm going to be tying these 2 stems right there in the middle where the E was. Friends, this wreath was also inspired by Amanda from 6 Kids and a Glue Gun. In the last video she made, she used this welcome sign and used it on a wood round. It came out beautiful. I'm going to link her video in the description box below. As you see here, I used some roses from the Dollar Tree, and I'm using some of those green flowers. Every single flower here came from the Dollar Tree, and just, you know, removing them from their picks and just distributing them in onto my sash there. What I did to the top, I did to the bottom, and I just try to keep everything nice and balanced. I love how these colors played together, and I just kept, sticking everything into the bunch until I was happy pretty much with how the arrangement looked. I really wanted to create, more dimensions, so I went pretty big with this satch. And here you'll see me adding the last 2 roses from the pick towards the top and bending them to the front so you can see it, so it's not just looking up when the wreath is hanged. These 2 last pieces were short, so I had to use a little bit of hot glue as I was pushing them in. And then I'm adding some of this also from the Dollar Tree, just to give it a little bit more color with that light yellow. Once everything was where I wanted it, I used some jute cord, tied it up, and added a little bit of hot glue. Now I am using this burlap ribbon that I used for the previous DIY, and I'm just wrapping it around itself, and then I'm going to cut slits on the middle of it, and then I'm going to tie it using some jute cord. And I did this 2 times. I wanted this bow to be a 2-part bow because I would have something planned for the middle. Friends, don't forget to visit the playlist. There you will find endless inspiration. Once the bow was tied nice and tight, I took the edges and the ends of it, or the ears of it, I don't know, whatever you want to call them, and I just pulled them apart and just fluffed out until I made a bow I was pretty happy with. I used some more jute cord and I tied it onto the wreath. I fluffed the bow, and then I'm taking this leftover ribbon that I have from wrapping the wreath, and I'm going to just create a loop using a little bit of hot glue, and then I'm going to fold it together to make it look like 2 more of the little ears there, and I'm going to tie it using a piece of jute cord as well, and that just gives this a little bit more dimension, and it just ties in the ribbon from the wreath onto the bow just to make everything more cohesive. Now it's time to attach the welcome sign. I just positioned it where I wanted it, used a little bit of hot glue on the W and the E to hold it in place, and then I'm going to go ahead and flip this over, and I'm going to reinforce the back with a little bit more hot glue, and then I took each one of the cords, made a knot on each end of it, and I'm going to add some hot glue to secure the sign as well and make it look like it is hanging off of the wreath using the cord. I repeated this process with both of the cords. And here it is all completed. This is so cute, guys. I love it. The camera does not do it justice. Let me know what you think, and if you will use the same colors or try something different. It is so grand, it's beautiful. Let me know if you like it. I love it. Thank you, Amanda, again for the inspiration. DIY number 3. For this DIY, I'm going to use this candle holder from the Dollar Tree and one of these, trays from the Dollar Tree. The first thing that I did was add some gel super glue to the edges of my candle holder, and I'm going to be adding a little bit of hot glue as well for that instant hold so I can continue working with this piece. I placed it exactly in the middle of my tray, and now I'm going to go ahead and hold it in place. Now I'm going to be using this mixture of gray. I made like a light gray color for a different DIY, and I'm just going to use it to completely cover my tray. Once that is done, I took the same dauber with the gray paint and dab it onto my antique wax from Waverly, and I just dab it onto the piece, and that's how it ended up looking. While that's drying, I took these 2 little doves from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to go ahead and paint them using that aqua color that I used for the previous DIY. I painted the entire doves, just avoiding the little feather that was on the back, and I did paint the greenery as well. Then I'm using this maize color from Waverly, and I'm going to just add some yellow to the greenery I had on the top, just giving it some highlights, and I'm putting them to dry. While that's drying, I'm taking some of this moss from the Dollar Tree and I'm adding it to my tray. I'm opening it up and I want to make it nice and flat so I'm able to add a few things onto this little tray. I didn't want to hot glue it because I want to be able to use this tray for different things. But I was just very careful to make sure that it was nice and neat and that everything was even so I'm able to place things and everything will be leveled. Then I added some of this floral moss as well, just to give it a little bit more life. You know, during your spring, things are starting to become green again, so I wanted to recreate that. And once I was happy with that, I'm gonna take some of these eggs that I found on clearance. I believe I got them from Michael's last year. And then I'm using some of these little bunnies from the Dollar Tree. I'm also adding them to my little tray there. I want it to look like a little, I don't know, a spring decor. This was inspiration from Sammie from Unicorn Dolls Designs. She did a great job with hers. I will also link her video in the description box below. So here my dots were a little bit too bright for this. So I'm going to be knocking down the paint a bit using that white wax from Waverly. I just wanted to give it a nice dusty look and just to bring down that brightness of the blue and for it to coordinate better with the more cream and toned down colors that I have on there with the eggs. And this is how they ended up. I tried different positions in between until I was happy with the positions that they had. I put them in a little pair on there and I just kept rearranging the eggs until I was happy with the placement. And here it is once I was all done. I love this thing. It is so cute. It just seems like the bunnies and the birds are just getting along and sharing a little space together. Let me know which one of these is your favorite. As always, thank you so much for watching. Be blessed, be a blessing, and craft responsibly. And if you would like to follow me on social media, here are my social media links. And stay tuned for some bloopers. Hey! Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Lorraine. When do I... It's a great video. Watch it. Subscribe to my mama's channel. I see you. I see you. Thanks for watching.